Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
We're Derps and Burps, the podcast for all gamers, spiritual souls, and creative minds out there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. It is the 14th episode. Can you believe this, Stefie? I think we said it all the time. Crazy. Guys, also listen to this. You need to tell me what that is. What do you think it is? Okay, wait.
Oh, a robot orgasm, as Fudge said yesterday. Droid orgasm.
Is obviously a monster, but which one was it? Which one do you think I'm drinking?
Peach?
Sadly not. It's getting discontinued in Austria.
What? Why?
I'm so sad. Yes, it's getting discontinued, sadly. But I'm drinking Ultra Paradise. It's like the apple green one. That one is like my favorite Ultra, I think. So it's pretty funny. I know you cannot see me right now, but my whole background is green. My monster can is green. I'm wearing a green hoodie. Like today, everything is green. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but hey. But anyway, guys, I forgot to tell you the topic. What the hell is going on? We're slacking.
Monday.
I'm slacking. It's Monday, exactly. So, guys, today's episode, you probably read the title already, is how to make money as a small content creator. So the thing is, we got the idea for this episode. Like, I think Steph and me kind of talked about it already, that we want to make an episode about this. But then there was a nice message we got on Twitter, which is also the listener of the week, right?
Yes, it's a Mr. Valdur on Twitter. And
Exactly.
he commented, I would love to hear your thoughts on sponsorships of products. Do you have certain brands you don't collaborate with or things you would never advertise for? Do you have certain rules for sponsorships? Example given, you need to test the product first and then you decide. And then when I saw that comment, I was like, hey, Julia and I, as she said already, we talked about this already. Kind of good time to talk about it as well, since we already did one episode with how you can support your favorite content creators. And now we just talk about how content creators and even small content creators can make money out of whatever they do on the internet.
Exactly.
Also, small disclaimer, guys, before we go ahead with the news, we have a pinned tweet on our profile where you can tell us which topics you'd be interested in and want us to talk about. Feel free to share your ideas with us on twitter.com/derpsnburps.
Exactly. So let's say you're listening on Spotify, you've never been on YouTube, or you don't have an Instagram account. Twitter is the way. We really check every single one of our social medias. So again, Valdur, thank you so much for bringing up this topic. That just shows us that Steffi and me, in a list of topics that we have prepared in the past and always add on to, that we're like on the right path. And we will later on in the podcast also come back to the specific questions that you have and see if we answered them already, or maybe if we have to add something up. So I'm gonna put a reminder in the Leitfaden later, that, or in our little
in the Leitfaden.
in our Leitfaden, in our little script. Like, we always write a little script, as we said many times before. So I put it in there that in the end of the podcast, we're gonna check again if we answered with everything that we tell you about how to make money as a content creator. If we also and sponsorships in general, if we answered all the questions that you had in that comment. But before going into that, I would go into the news, and I think I'm gonna start out straight. So the first thing is, I'm dog sitting right now. Oh my god.
So cute. Which race is it? Because I saw it in your stories.
So basically, for the people that don't know, we have a second dog, but only for 3 days. We're basically dog sitting for friends of mine that are also listening to the podcast, or at least I know that Max is. If you don't know Max, maybe you probably know him, because he and his girlfriend, so those two are the owners of the dog. Her name is Mocha. She is a Thai Ridgeback. So she's a street dog from Thailand, and she has a lot of, like, she's a really anxious dog. Like, you have to think about, like, she was in Thailand on the streets, got rescued there, so she doesn't have to die. I'm not really sure if they would have she would have come in like a kill shelter or whatever. Like I sadly forgot the story. I don't want to say anything wrong, so I'm not sure, but they adopted the whole litter. So people from Austria, I think, adopted the whole litter. And they took one of them, and that's Mocha. I thought first that her name is Mocha, but her name is Mocha.
Oh, so cute.
like Mochi, but with an A at the end. She's a really gentle, super sweet dog, really, really beautiful, but she's really shy, and she needs a little bit of time to get used to new people. She's really good with other dogs, and also with the cats. She's the sweetest, and she's never stayed with anybody else before but Max and his girlfriend Melly. So thank you so much for trusting us with her. We're taking great care of her. I already went for a walkie with her before. I went on 3 walkies today, actually.
I was about to ask you, did you take both? Yeah.
So what we did when they brought her here, we went first for a walk together so they can acclimate outside and not like in Mira's kind of territory. So Mira doesn't get like dominant or aggressive or anything. And so we went for one walkie first, and then when they left, I let her like calm down a little bit, and we stayed inside for an hour, and then I took Mocha again for a walkie where she peed and pooped, and she was already super confident compared to before. And then afterwards I took Mira again, so Mira is not jealous, that Mocha is being taken on a walk and she's not, so I made sure that there's no jealousy between the two of them. And now Nathan, while we're recording the podcast, Nathan is staying with them. Like obviously since it's like they've spent the day together already when Max and Melly were visiting, when we did the cooking stream together. But obviously like when you bring dogs, and also we have cats here, right? If you bring them together, you kind of want to make sure to supervise them, right? To make sure that they get along, that they don't get scared, like they don't, get territorial or anything about each other. But they're doing so good. Like they're literally so sweet with each other.
Nice.
I love it. So that is the first news. So from today till Wednesday, with Dogo sitting. Then on Wednesday, I'm gonna be at the media day in a school in Germany, but over Zoom or like a online kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not 100%.
So you're.
Sorry? It's fine.
So you're telling them about your job and everything?
Yeah, so basically I think if I hope I don't say anything wrong, but it's basically a lot of teenagers nowadays in school, when you ask them what they want to be, they say, oh, I want to be a content creator, I want to be a streamer, I want to be a YouTuber and so on. And it's actually Laura's boyfriend's brother, I think, if I said it correct. So the girl that I work out with, that is, I think he's an English teacher. I'm not 100% sure, but he's the teacher that asked me if I would join. And basically I do 2 sessions with 2 different classes, and they're, I think, between 14 and 16. So I'm a little bit nervous because, that's the age where
the judgy.
Yeah, the judgy teenagers. So you can have everything from like sweet to like the full-on judgy people. So I'm a little bit nervous because of the age range that they might be, maybe a little bit mean. Like, but she's not a big influencer. She doesn't have a lot of followers. I want to be more successful than her. No, I don't know.
First of all, you have. Second, I think if I was between 14 and 16 and there would come a girl to my school, or even as like an online or on an online meeting, I would be like, oh my God, I want to become a streamer as well and want to be as successful as her. Like I would look up to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I really don't know what to expect. Like I'm guessing that they were gonna be really sweet and probably just have really simple questions. And I obviously wanna try to find like the balance between giving them, see, that's the thing where I don't know exactly how I should approach it, because I obviously want to be supportive, but because I obviously think that no matter where you're coming from, which background, if you work hard enough, like I believe that if you put your heart and soul in something, that you can be successful in it. But on the same note, I don't want to tell them like, oh yeah, you can become everything. Like I want to be really clear that being a creator, and we talked about it many times in this podcast, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, and it takes more time than a normal 9 to 5 desk job. Like there's no, I come home from work and my work day is over. Like your work days are never gonna be over. So I try to prepare a little bit in that direction, in the sense of I want to give them hope, but want to be realistic and also show them the sides you maybe don't think about. Like it doesn't matter if it's like the taxes and the amount of money you make. Yes, it's great, but you also have to think that roughly, depending obviously in which country you are, half of the money you make you pay in taxes and social insurance and that kind of stuff.
That's a good balance, I'd say. Like
exactly.
You can become a content creator if you work for it, and obviously there's some like be at the right place, where,
exactly,
like at the right time, etc. We all know it, but
to
also
extent,
the tough reality of behind the scenes. It's not only posting a fun story on Instagram and that's about it. I think that's what they have to, especially in that age, like at that age, you have to learn. It looks so fun, and it is fun, but it's also a lot of hard work. That's
the thing. Like you need to make it look fun even on the days that it's not fun. Or if you decide to show the reality, you need to be content with sharing the parts of your life that you might not necessarily want to share because they're ugly, if that makes sense, right? So for me in the beginning, like I'm always a really honest person, you know me. Like I share the good and bad. I share when I have my really bad mental days. I share a lot about my mental health, my therapy, everything that I go through. And the way I share it is also some kind of way that helps me, right? So I think I'm on a good note, but I try to prepare for it, right? And I also try to mentally prepare myself to not feel like set back into high school, meeting a bully again when I was 16. Because the thing was, when I was 16, I was not one of the cool kids, right? So I got bullied a lot when I was in school, when I was like 16. Or 16, not really, but till 14. Like junior high school, I got bullied a lot. And then when I switched schools, I kind of did the whole thing where I switched my identity, kind of. I don't know, did you ever do that? When you switch schools and you went from like
it's always like new school, new me. I'm gonna be a different version of myself with 50. It's like, because I switched from like the basic like normal junior school to high school, like art school, right? Which is two worlds. Because people are completely different, but that's where I finally like felt I'm home, because creative people are different in many ways. They also don't feel stressed most of the times. Like when creativity hits you, it hits you. There's no, you need to do, of course you had to do it in school, you have to do it now in class, but it's always like, even now when creativity hits me and I want to create something, no matter if it's like 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning, I just go back to my PC and do it, because then that's where you're
you
most
need
productive.
to lead the juices flow.
So real artist here, by the way, guys. But yeah, I know what you mean, Julia.
But I just need to tell the story. I know it's like nothing about news and has nothing to do to this topic, but just I have it in my head, I want to share it. So I went first, my junior high school, I went to a gymnasium. So for people that don't know, it's like I went literally to one of the strictest schools in my town. I went to the Ingeborg Bachmann Gymnasium in Klagenfurt. And I had like really cool teachers. Like I remember my Klassenvorstand, so like the teacher that is the head of your class. And he was also my German teacher. He was really, really cool, was my favorite teacher. He taught us a lot about Zivilcourage. Civil courage, I think that's the way. Like he was somebody that preached from the beginning to us that if you see that somebody's getting bullied, that you stand up and help them, or if you see somebody in the street being in trouble, that you offer help, like that kind of stuff. Like he really preached that, so that was really cool. But I also had an English teacher that would tell me that I would never pass English. Never. Can you imagine?
Look at me now, bitch.
Look at me now, bitch. I speak better fluent English than you. Maybe not grammatically correct all the time, but still. Like, I faxed her. I think I said it already. I faxed her back in the day. My Matura, like my A-levels.
A-levels, yeah.
I aced my A-levels. Like, I had the highest grade in English in my A-levels.
Damn.
Back then, there was no email. Or not really that much, but I faxed my grade
like
to her,
certificate.
yeah, in the school, and I was like, "There, take it, bitch." Frau Schiendecker, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry that I called you a bitch. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that back then I was bullied. Like, I was that girl that was hanging out with the guys, the nerdy dudes that were playing Magic cards, and I loved it. Like, I had really great friends. That's also where I got to know Caro, right? But then she went into another school, and then I switched to fashion school, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna reinvent myself. I'm gonna become from this nerdy girl that like nobody likes in class beside of the other nerds. I'm gonna become the cool girl in class. And I did the cringiest thing. Listen, my mom went with me to kick with 14, okay? And I call it the brosis pants. Do you remember like the white pants with like the hip hop dance white pants with like the strings attached to it and the huge pockets on the side? Remember those?
I like those. I have some of those again. It's like Asian street style.
Yeah, basically.
Clothes.
Exactly. So I had those Asian street style, or how we call it, the bros.
Now. Yeah.
Now they're cool again. But back then it was like, I bought those pants. I bought myself a white tank top with red stripes on the side.
Damn.
I got myself, okay, I'm so sorry. This is so cringe. A tie. And I went to school fully, and like skater shoes. Like, I had some cool ethnic skater shoes because I wanted to be a skater girl, like a alternative kind of, like, I wanted to be Avril Lavigne, let's be honest, with the tie and everything.
I was about to say that.
And that's how I went into class. And I literally, it could be like in a freaking movie. I went into the class, I sat in the back of the class because I'm gonna be the cool kid, right? I'm gonna sit last row. And I was sitting there, and nobody sat next to me. Nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, oh no, it's gonna repeat. But then hold up, you know what happened? The class started, and then 45 minutes late, a girl walks into class. That is like 1 year older as everybody, because she went to another school and had to repeat so she was like the cool, like, badass girl that's 1 year older than everybody. She had like a little binder with like Good Charlotte, Blink 182, Sum 41 stickers in front. And she came into the class and she was like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm late. I overslept, right? And then the only spot that was left was next to me. And she had to sit next to me. And I was like, yes, score. The cool girl that had to repeat the class and listens to pop punk is going to sit next to me. And she became my best friend. And that's how we became
so cool.
Like the cool pop punk kind of people. So it all worked out for me.
You know what's funny?
What?
Like, Moni is one of my, like, oldest friends, if you can say that. Like, I know her for so many years. We went to school back then together as well. And we also lived together in Graz for 4 years before she went back to Carinthia. We talk until this day. She's also going, like, bouldering with us once a week because she's in Graz again. And I met her because we had this, Aufnahmetest.
The test to get accepted to uni?
To get into the school, to the art school. And she was sitting right next to me when we had this test. And then after these 3 hours or whatever it took, we went out of the room. And the first thing she said to me was like, oh, I can't be asked to go upstairs like 3 floors every day when we get into the school. And I was like, and she's not really, like, she's not arrogant or like a how to say, just
attitude?
Like arrogant. Like with this attitude, like she doesn't have that at all. But that was like, I just heard that, laughed, and was like, okay, this girl gonna be my friend.
Yeah.
And then like 2 months later or 3 months later, when we got accepted at the art school, we met there and then we sat together from day one until the end of our
That's
until we
awesome.
finished A levels. Yes, and then we moved in together into the apartment in Graz.
Oh,
Yes.
so cute.
Yeah. So I have that, like, this whole scene, how it went. I still have that in my head. I know exactly where she stood and like how she said it. It's so funny. Like same with you. And is it Caro?
No, that was Bianca. I don't know if you
Oh, was
know
that
her.
no, I don't know Bianca.
No, I don't think so. Like she moved to Graz as well. Like she studied law in Graz. She's the one. Do you know my makeup bag? Like with the fuck, I have it upstairs right now because I did my makeup upstairs. But she's the one that's sewing like the little makeup bags and the handbags that I got Nita for her birthday. So we're still in contact till now. And she like went for half a year to do like half a year abroad in Texas and shit like that. Like she was always like, since she's a year older than me, she was kind of like a big sister to me always. And we had like this pop punk thing. Like we went together to like Good Charlotte concerts, and we were like the biggest fans. And we were like, oh yeah, you get the one brother, I get the other brother from Good Charlotte, and that kind of stuff. So it's like that, like cool. Without her, like I don't know if I would have made it through high school. But she only went 3 years to high school with me, and then because she went to America, you know, like she came back and got put into another class afterwards. So it was a little sad, but still, like she was the one person that made me feel cool. Like I always felt like I was her little sidekick, if that makes sense. Like I literally, like I felt like I'm her sidekick, and now like when we meet, like I feel like I'm still like this little like pop punk kind of person, and she
what's it called?
I don't know how
like
to say.
Not Modern Family. How my God, How I Met Your Mother. Is it Vertigo or something? When you meet your old friends, like you act like you, yo girl, what's up? Oh my God, 15 years later, we're still the same. You know what I mean? I have those friends as well. It's amazing.
Exactly that. But it's so funny if you see her now, because now she's like don't get me wrong, she's still the same person and still super cool and stuff. But if you see her now, she's like a super normie, if that makes sense. Like she's like with the picket fence kind of person. And before she was always like, oh, I don't need a boyfriend and that kind of stuff, you know. Now, so it's like really fun to see her thrive in life as much as she does, and I'm super super proud of her. But it's just so funny how like those personalities from school like change, and all of those people, like if I think back, like people I went to school with, they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be so successful, and I don't know. And don't get me wrong, like success looks different for everybody, right? So I'm not saying they're not successful. Like I'm sure they're happy in their life, but they were like, yeah, I'm gonna be a fashion designer, and I'm gonna be in Paris, and I'm gonna be rich, and I don't know what. And then those were people that were like bullying me in school, like really hard. And now if I check on Facebook or something like that, you see they're sitting home with like 2 children and being housewives. And I'm like, I'm sure you're happy in that life, and that's more than fine. Like don't get me wrong, everybody changes their goals and what they want to achieve in their life. So I don't want to sound rude or anything, but I'm like, what happened to you? You wanted to, you know, like, I don't know.
Well,
but anyway, so that was a really long news. And then the last thing I have to tell you about news is something that's gonna make Steffi really happy. I started playing the Lego Star Wars game that came out. What is it called again? The saga of the Jedi? The Skywalker saga?
Skywalker saga, I think.
I think it's like all 9 movies, basically. I'm gonna check what the exact title is,
6,
so I don't.
Not all 9. Oh my God, I'm so brainless. There's only 6 existing, guys. The prequel. Nobody likes the prequels.
The Skywalker saga, exactly.
Yeah, Skywalker saga.
So yeah, I started playing this. I played the first 3 episodes, okay? And for the people that don't know, I did watch, like, you know, episode 1 when it came out, and like here and there a new movie or an old one, but I always fell asleep. I managed to like watch through a whole movie. Like for some reason, I always fell asleep because it was kind of boring to me. And then yesterday I played.
Sorry, did you watch 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6 where you fell asleep? Like the old ones, the first ones?
I watched for sure episode 1 where I fell asleep. And I remember that I watched episode 1 like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and each time I fell asleep. Like I always remember, like I watched the race and everything, and then I can't remember anything after that.
We have to cancel this podcast and abort the mission right now. Oh my god.
Wait, give me a second. I just need to refresh your video feed because it's kind of not working. I don't know. Does it look good for you? I'm sorry for the people that are listening.
It looks normal to me, but the source. Shall I restart? See, this is what happens when you say
Wait, give me a second.
you fell asleep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Refresh. Wait, I'm gonna refresh. See if that works. There we go. Yeah. Fixed it. Okay, I just refreshed. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I'm sorry for upsetting you. So yeah, I watched like the old ones, then I tried to watch it like in the order they got released, and then I watched the ones from the 70s, and you're like, yeah, okay, I don't know, it's
but to
cool,
be fair,
but
I fell asleep there as well. Fourth episode, I fell asleep.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I played the games. I played the first 3 episodes in the game. And now I'm like, oh, it all makes sense. Oh, Padme and Amidala are the same person? Wait, what? Like they're fucking yoinking children. They're like going to a race and just like, you know what? We're just gonna take him and the mom. Oh no, we can't have the mom, just him. Okay, let's take Anakin. And then like Obi-Wan and what's the Obi's guy? Jin?
Qui-Gon Jinn?
Yeah, Jin. Exactly. See, I know. And
damn, Julia,
and then you realize
proud.
that Anakin and Padme are getting married, and they technically he can't. He's not allowed to. And then they're getting children. That's Leia and Luke. And then now it all makes sense. And then yeah, that's what I did. And then we discussed on stream yesterday that I'm gonna try to watch it. And yesterday I watched episode 4. So they told me because I played the first 3 episodes, right? I know the storyline, what happens, so I can't really like spoil myself that much anymore.
Yeah,
like,
but you can't spoil yourself if you watch 4, 5, 6 now, because that's what's coming next in your game.
I mean, I know like the whole thing with, oh, Luke, I'm your father, you know, that kind of thing, that Anakin is obviously Darth Vader and Luke is his son, and that Leia is gonna kiss Luke and that kind of stuff, you know, like I know those things through memes. So, but the thing is, I'm a sucker for new movies. I don't really like old movies that much, like only really specific ones. So for me, I'm gonna watch it in the way it got released, so I at least can, you know, like I am afraid that I'm gonna like the new movies because they just look good. I'm gonna be honest.
That's what I had as well, and also because there was no Star Wars content for so long, and then the sequels got released. Story-wise, they don't really like add up, but I was just so happy to be in this world again, and I love BB-8, like the little robot.
Yeah, I know the rolling one, yeah.
So, he's hiding today. Where are you?
He's hiding. Hi there. Beep, beep.
Yeah, here's BB-8. So, I really love the droid as well. I now finally understand, after rewatching everything in the correct order, why 7, 8, and 9 is bullshit. But I still enjoyed watching it or getting entertained just because I was in the world. I'm a fucking Star Wars slave, guys. So it's okay. It's definitely not best Star Wars. Also because it's different, like producers and everything, which had no idea what they were doing.
I don't understand that though. You know, like I'm gonna be the same as you. Like I'm just gonna enjoy it anyway. Like it's the same with like. I am probably gonna get hate for this, but like I know you didn't watch Game of Thrones. You should watch Game of Thrones, Steffi. Please.
Me? I finished Game of Thrones.
But you
what
did?
do you mean?
Didn't you not watch it?
No, Max
Oh
and
yeah,
I
you
watched
started,
everything.
but you started watching it late, right?
When season 8 came out, we watched everything.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that way
Mhm.
around. So
course I
like
watched
it's
it.
the same.
Hello.
Like I enjoyed the last season because it just, you know, it is such a
Mhm.
great universe
Same.
and it looks good. But then the story again, it just was so shit. But I still enjoyed watching it.
same.
I wish it would
Same.
have ended different, but you know, like I see, and that's the thing. Like I'm a sucker. We also talked about it on stream. It's the same with video games. Like a lot of people's like, oh, games are so ass. The story, blah blah blah. It doesn't make sense. But you can. That's the same thing when we talked about hating mainstream, hating stuff just because it's cool or new, and everybody hates it. You need to hate it too. And I'm
Yeah.
like that. Like I'm still able to enjoy shit, even
Yeah.
if it doesn't make sense.
If I like it, I like
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Doesn't matter
Same.
what I like about it.
But
Yeah.
anyway, sorry. I talked a lot. So Steffi, what's new
Let's
for
not
you?
talk about Star Wars anymore because I cannot stop talking about Star Wars once we started. And then
Guys.
I'm gonna show you everything I have in my room.
Guys,
Also,
you know what? We should, once I finished everything, we should make an episode just on Star
on
Wars.
Star Wars. May the 4th!
Yeah. Oh
See-
my god, yes, May the 4th. Do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
I'm gonna write it down
I just
so we
wanted
don't
to
forget.
show you this, guys. Yes. This is what I got this from Julia. Look, it's a stormtrooper helmet. A friend of us made this one.
I hope you really
He's
like
making
it.
super cool stormtrooper helmets with Louis Vuitton and everything. And Julia asked him to make one for me with my logo and everything. And it's so pretty.
Aw, I'm so happy you like it. I was like really worried. Never forget Ben.
Because of Ben.
I showed Steffi's best friend Ben the picture before, and I was like, "Oh, I hope she's gonna like it." And he just asked, "Oh, honey, yes, I hope she's gonna like it for you too." I was like, "Oh no." He's so
Classic
honest. I love
Ben.
him.
Love you, Hanny.
Fucking love him, Ben.
Oh.
Okay, Steffi, what's new for you? Let's get into this so we can.
All right.
I'm sorry.
I don't have much, guys. Apex is killing me at the moment. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. My teammates are completely brain dead.
Oh,
They
no.
either don't talk at all, and if I talk, I get ignored because I'm a girl, right? So
Girl in video
I'm
games.
gonna get a voice changer now and just pretend I'm a big guy.
Hi, bros. What's
Bro.
up, homie?
Yo, bro, we gotta go there.
Kings
So, yeah,
Canyon brothers.
I'm super frustrated. I was playing Apex yesterday,
Oh,
I
no.
think 12 hours, and I couldn't gain much elo.
Oh, no.
But it do be like that sometimes, right? I'm super happy with my sleeping room. Sun wakes me up every single day.
Aw.
My skin is super sensitive, so I wake up at 9 and the sun's like fully shining into my face, and my whole face hurts when I wake up.
Oh, no.
So in order to not get a sunburn, I have to get up or just close the blinds,
Oh, no.
the curtains, but I don't want to do this. So I really like waking up with the sun.
Same.
So that's a great thing. Gaming room, aka former sleeping / Max gaming room, is almost done, which gonna be we pretend to be adults room as well, with a corner where you
Adults
have
room.
like your not that.
Sorry.
More like you have your folders there and your sheets
Oh,
with
yeah, I saw
all the taxes and things you have to pay, and the printer obviously and all that stuff. And beside that, we finally planned Easter with Mark's family and my family. What we're gonna do? We might maybe go to Croatia for 3 days in April as well, if we
Oh,
have
nice.
time. And bouldering is fun. I bought myself.
The
I
chalk.
said,
I saw the shoes and the chalk bag.
yeah. I said to myself, if I go bouldering for, I don't know, 1 month, like constantly, or 1 or 2 months, I'll buy myself shoes. I went bouldering twice,
And bought yourself shoes.
bought shoes on Saturday with Ben.
Let's go. It
So-
was Women's Day. It's sale probably, right?
I'm not sure if there was yeah, there was. Of course there was.
Of course there
And
was, yeah.
I'm very picky when it comes to shoes. I know these shoes are like super, super clean. They get cleaned every single time, like every day, multiple times. The ones you can borrow there, like lend.
Yeah, but it's still something
Um,
different if you bring your own.
Yes, and I just want to have my own shoes. Also, I hope that it makes me want to go more because I have to like make up for the price, you know.
I
So
just spilled my monster. Oh no, why am I like this? Jesus.
on your keyboard?
No, just on my legs. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just
Okay.
gonna explain your thing. I'm just gonna get
No reason to stop. We can continue. This is no reason to stop the
It's
podcast.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm used to spilling my stuff, so I always have a towel close to me. We're good. We're good. I'm back. I'm sorry. Nothing happened. Guys,
So, yeah.
if you were here while the spillage, I want to see some moist water drops in the comments, please. Okay.
Spill it.
Spill it. Okay, we got
Spill
it.
it.
We got it. Spill
So
it
yeah,
like you will
that's
it.
about it. I think there's
Nice, though.
that's all. Yeah. We're
Nice,
chilling.
nice.
We're chilling, guys.
So
Working,
let's
chilling.
go into our topic, huh? Our topic today: how to make money as a small content creator. So first of all, since we're gonna start talking about this small disclaimer when we say small content creators, and we count ourselves as that. Please don't get offended if you're smaller than us and you think we're big. Like obviously, the word small or small content creator can be so many so many things depending from which angle you're looking at, right? So compared to like the biggest content creators, I'm a fucking nobody. I know that on certain platforms, sorry, I have a lot of followers. I always forget that we're sorry, by the way. It's just so natural from streaming and stuff that I burp. Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what the worst thing is? Max hated it in the beginning when I did that. Like since we're doing so much together and like got closer and like got closer friends, like it's natural to me as well. I just burp wherever I am, right? And Max is always like, no, you don't do that. And I'm like, I am doing this, bro. So
I need to be so careful when I go to restaurants or when I'm like at Nathan's place and stuff. Like, I really need to care. Or if I have people come over to eat, like I sometimes forget. I'm just like on the table with 8 people, and I'm like, oh wait, in the normal world, this is not a thing.
You should.
I should probably not. But anyway, so yeah, disclaimer with small content creators. Compared to the biggest ones, we're still small creators. It's also depending on which platform you check. Like follow-wise, okay, I'm pretty big on Twitch. View-wise, okay, I have depending between 100, 150, 200 average, depending on the month of the year. So I'm still probably above average for most people or big for some people, but still compared to like the big fish in the sea, right? I'm still like a little fucking small guppy fish or whatever
and
you
I'm
say.
like a bacteria.
No, that's not how I meant it.
No. I'm just comparing.
Yeah,
neutral.
But now let's compare Steffi's YouTube, right? How many views Steffi has on YouTube? She's the fucking shark, and I'm the fucking neon fish. You know, the small ones that you buy for your aquarium. Like
they're so cute, though.
They're cute, though. Yeah. See, so again, when we say small content creators, we mean sizes that you would normally maybe think that you won't be able to live from it full time.
Yeah.
But we still can, or I at least can live full time from it, and Steffi can make.
I partly can.
Can do the same. So obviously there's a lot of videos out there. There's a lot of experts talking and giving you advice. But here we want to share the things that we learned over the years, the ways that we created our partnerships and so on, and how we maybe make more money than you expect without having to rely on our viewers for like paying for subscriptions or having to donate to us and so on. So maybe we start on how did we start? How did we get our first sponsorships? Do you want to start, Steffi, or do you want me?
To be honest, first thing I can say is I learned a lot from you. You're like my mentor when it comes to these things. You taught me a lot of things. Yeah, and you're actually
so much you learn.
Yes, I'm actually your Padawan when it comes to this, and you helped me so much as well with all these things. And the first, like how I started, it was basically, you remember the winter, like the winter giveaway with High Tech we had,
Yeah, I remember.
where we promoted the brand. Like, it's an Austrian hardware brand which builds PCs, guys.
Mhm.
Pretty cool, guys. We're still sponsored by them, so much love for High Tech, for gamers out there.
Thank you, Philip.
We were working, Philip Beistel.
Philip
So
the Beistel.
we're working with them, and it was back in the days when they asked to work together with them for a giveaway, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then after that, it was like we got to know each other and everything, and then he was like, hey, how about you want to work with us? So
Mhm.
that's like something. It was the other way, because usually, like, obviously we ask people or brands to work, or
Yeah, it's both
sometimes, like,
ways.
yeah, if you really
Sometimes
want to
you
work
get
with a
approached.
brand,
Sometimes you approach
yeah,
them. Exactly.
exactly. So they basically asked, or he asked, if we're interested in working together, and I was like, hey, yeah, of course, you have amazing stuff. I would love to. So that was actually my first sponsorship
Mhm.
until this day. Like, I'm still working with
That's crazy.
Philip
How
and
long?
the High Tech boys.
2.5 years?
I think it's
Almost
3
3?
now.
Is it? Oh yeah, true.
Mhm.
February, right? Was it February? It's
Mhm.
3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually crazy how long we worked together. Yeah, and for me, how did I start? So I was streaming. Wow, that was a long time ago. I got my first sponsorship 2014, I think. Do you remember?
Is it still serious, Julia?
No, it's not.
Because, okay, let me just throw this in. It was, I think, 2 weeks ago. I kept forgetting to tell you. I got this video of you
Oh no,
recommended,
I know what you're talking about.
where you talk about the SteelSeries mouse.
So cringe.
And I was like, it's so cute. Oh my god.
Hello, this is my mouse. And then I just read off the box what it says.
Yes, and the funniest thing is, like, sorry guys, I didn't change the camera. Like, I'm streaming after this. I have to stream after this. So I'm just doing this real quick.
200,000 views on YouTube.
Yes.
It is till this day one of my most watched video. Still,
Crazy.
like, people still watch that video.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, back in the day, I got I was not even sponsored by them. They just sent me a free mouse, and they were like, "Yeah, you
Oh.
can just make an unboxing video." And I just sat down before stream and I held the box in the camera. And was like, "Look, this is my new mouse."
Funny.
Read what
And you
it
always
says
said
on the cardboard.
mouse.
Mouse. Dude, my English was so bad back then. It's so cringe.
Mouse.
And I think that video is over 200,000 views. I think if you search like the name of the mouse in review, it is one of the videos that comes up. So when people try
crazy.
to buy this mouse, that pops up. So yeah, I didn't even get paid for that. I got a free mouse for that.
Yeah.
So
We got
that was
LinkedIn,
not
guys. I'll
even-
put it in the YouTube
Oh, no.
description. Yes.
By the way, look at this mice are way better. Just saying.
Love.
love our pink mouses.
Yes.
But yeah, how did I start? So I started streaming in 2013. We had the whole story already, you know, yada yada yada. Worked next to it, blah blah blah. And I think half a year in, I started working with. First, it was what were they called? Planet Key. I don't know if you remember them. So Planet Key was I don't know if they still exist, but they had like a CS team and stuff like that. It was a small German brand. They were selling game keys. So I remember, I think I was earning 100 euros per month with them back then. You have to think I had like 1,000 viewers. That was a fucking steal from them. But yeah, anyway, so I got 100 euros per month, and then they worked together with MMOGA. So some of you probably know MMOGA a little bit more. So also a brand that sells like game keys online, and they got to know me through them, and they actually offered me my first full-time contract, so a 12 months contract to, I don't even remember where it was back then. I think it was like 2,000 euros or something a month to promote them. And that was actually my first full-time sponsorship that made me able to become a full-time streamer. And I just want to toss something in. You know, we were already talking earlier about like the whole school stuff and how it sounds a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, 2,000 euros is a lot of money. But please keep in mind, when you're self-employed and you get 2,000 euros, you don't get to keep the 2,000 euros, at least not in Austria. You have to pay taxes, you have to pay social insurance, and then whatever stays over from that is what you can use. So roughly you're going to have to pay, depending on how much you earn, but in Austria between 20 and 30% tax on that. And then again, from what stays of that, you're going to have to pay another, 28% of the leftover in social insurance. So roughly you can calculate that approximately half of what you get is what you can keep after tax and social insurance. Plus minus, there's always like a lot of shit that adds up. So first tip, when you're self-employed, like, or if you get money from sponsorships, please pay your taxes. I cannot stress this enough. It's depending on which country you live, but in Austria, for example, you can get taxed, I think, back to 10 years. So even if you get away with it, with earning a lot of money from sponsorships, it might bite you in the ass 10 years later and you get a bill of 30,000 euros or something like that. So I luckily was always super anxious about that. So I straight went to a tax guy that did all my taxes for me, that told me how much I need to pay. I paid the money. Not a lot stayed over, but at least I can sleep at night, you know, that I'm doing everything correct, that I do no tax fraud or whatever, and that I won't get any invoice like in 5 years time that I have to sell my house to be able to pay that, right?
It's like, it's a bit different for me because I have this so-called like small business where you have a certain threshold, and if you go over this one, and with me like working part-time, I basically pay my insurance with my part-time job.
Exactly.
So I don't have to do this as being self-employed. So this is kind of my way how I do it right now. Because it would be like when I checked on it, it was a couple years ago. It's like what, 200 to 300 euros a month or so, just insurance.
Social insurance,
I think.
Yeah, like
when I looked it up. So I don't have to pay this.
The maximum it is, which I had to pay, or I have to pay almost every year, is, just so you know, guys, around, I think it's now 18,000 euros of social insurance per year. That's just so you have the basic insurance.
Yeah.
So just letting you know, if you think it's a nice thing, of course it's nice, but imagine you have to pay roughly, I think it's between 16 and 18,000 a year if you have like, there's like this weird ass shit where so there's a maximum that you pay in Austria, which is like this 18K or whatever it is. But if you make more money, so that is like, it's depending how much money you make. I forgot the exact numbers, but let's say you're making millions, you still only pay 18K. So if you're like in this weird threshold between making a good amount of money but not being like insanely rich, like it hits you hard. But if you're insanely rich, like it's fucking peanuts for you.
Nothing.
So for me, I'm in this weird ass spot where I'm like slightly above, slightly beneath that, or exactly at that line of paying that. So sometimes it was like 10K that I had to pay per year. Sometimes it was 20K I had to pay per year. But that's a lot of money just to be insured. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Okay, 20,000 hurts a lot. So yeah, that was how I started. And so roughly you can guess I had like 1,000 euros or something to live from. But something that we started, I think we talked about it in one of the episodes already. Like, I got really lucky that when I started and I had like my peak in on Twitch and everywhere, like I was kind of naturally, there was no YouTube tutorials yet how it's now, and how to be a streamer, how to grow your platforms. That was all not there yet. That was all in 2014. That was not really a thing to that time. There was no Devin Nash telling you how to do your shit, sadly. But
or
somehow,
that you do it shit.
Exactly. But somehow I did it in a right way, that I cross-promoted my platform. So something that's really important for me, and also for you if you're a creator, or maybe if you're just listening to get to know how creators work, right? A good thing is to have multiple platforms to grow on, right? Yeah. So let's say you're a Twitch streamer. You also want to be posting on Instagram. You want to have a Twitter. If you're still a boomer like me, you have Facebook. You have a TikTok. And you try to kind of cross-promote the platforms, or at least try to grow each one of them. So when I go live, Steffi is same. We post on Instagram in our story that we're live now, that you can see us. Not everybody has their notifications on Twitch and so on and so on.
Yep.
And that was something that I luckily did correct kind of naturally, that I just grew all my platforms at the same time. And that work that I put in 2014 is now still really helping me now, because like I'm not growing my socials anymore, sadly. Like it's just a fact. Like my socials are declining more than they are growing, unless TikTok. TikTok is the only thing that is still really growing for me. And that is something I can really recommend, that you don't just focus on one social media, but try to work on multiple ones. Because obviously, even if you make content for one platform, so let's say we're streaming, then from your stream, you make a highlight video on YouTube. Then from the highlight video, you cut down in small sequences and you make like a TikTok video. You make a reel out of it. You maybe make an Insta story. You maybe make a little highlight that you post on your Twitter. Kind of also the same that we do with our podcast, right? So look at our podcast. We're recording it. We have it on Spotify. We have it in Apple Music. We have it in all of those platforms for podcasts to listen to. We also have a YouTube video where you can like look at us, how we react, Then we have the lovely Jess, like while we're recording, we're writing down the times. Okay, there was something important or something funny that we said. Then we're going to make a little highlight video out of that. We post those on Twitter to give you little snippets and get you interested into the podcast, or new people that haven't maybe seen or listened to our podcast yet to get interested in that. And then out of that, we cut little TikToks and Instagram reels and put them there. So that is a good example on how to produce one piece of content and kind of use it for multiple platforms. Exactly. To get people engaged. And that's something that's really important, because obviously the more reach you can offer a brand or a sponsor or a partnership person or brand, whatever, that you want to work with, the more you can offer, the more interested you're going to be, Like if I tell somebody, hey, I'm a streamer, I can show you a product on a stream and I have like 150 viewers, you're going to be like, wow, 150 people going to see that, right? In one time, in this 10 minutes, you're going to show it on stream. But if I tell them, yeah, but I can also post a picture on my Instagram. On my Instagram, I have, 50,000 followers. Then I can make a reel. My reel gets between 10 and 30,000 views. I can make a YouTube video. I can make this and this. So you already can offer a brand so much more the more platforms you have. It's basically something really natural. But yeah, that is like the most important thing, is that you also not necessarily just work hard, but also work smart and kind of, as we said, spread the same content on multiple platforms, right?
And know your value.
Exactly. I think we're gonna dive into this in a little bit. So another thing that we wrote onto the list is which sponsors we have. So Steffi, you already said you work with Hightech. Exactly. You had some cooperations with Logitech as well, right?
And Benefit,
exactly, the makeup. So you already worked with a lot of cool brands as well, right? With Monster, I heard you did some small things here and there as well, right?
Yeah. We do.
So Steffi obviously dabbled here and there in different brands, and I think Hightech is your biggest partner, obviously. Rix, obviously. So you also work with
we're basically content creator for Rix.GT.
So for the people that don't know, Rix, Rix is basically a team or like an organization, esports organization that works both with Steffi and me as well. And with which brands do I work with? So I obviously also work with Rix. I work with Hightech. I work with Monster that I just accidentally spilled. I'm sorry, baby. But there's still some in it. Okay, I didn't spill everything. Then Blue microphones. Also, microphones that we're using are from Blue, by the way. Fritz AVM, so they make routers. So obviously, if you're a gamer, you want good internet, and you preferably have a good router, because what would be a fucking, you can have a gaming setup for thousands of euros, and then you have fucking 10-euro cheap router from your provider that burns through if you stream for longer than 2 hours. That's why I work with Fritz. Also, obviously, great products for Wi-Fi. So I have, for example, a basement that has really thick concrete walls. Trying to get a working Wi-Fi through all the rooms in your basement, okay? I need to listen to my music in the gym. I need to stream here and have still a connection to my phone and stuff. So yeah, they help me with that kind of stuff. Then I have obviously Logitech, headset, mouse, keyboard. I can tell the story later how I got to Logitech. I literally begged them 2 years to work with me. And then I here and there obviously work with other brands that I'm really interested in. So I already worked with some different makeup brands, for example, some lifestyle brands, and at the moment I'm kind of trying to educate and try to start working, for example, with more IRL related things. So I'm kind of, for example, we're going to Dubai, right? I'm going with a friend of mine, Kerstin. We're going to Dubai end of the month, and we're actually trying right now to see if we can get cooperations with like the hotels and stuff like that to also give you guys cool content. First of all, if I get, you know, a hotel or like a stay somewhere, or like even if it's just we're going to a zoo or to a nice restaurant or something like that, and can give you a little review, an honest one, obviously, that could be really interesting for you as well. So those are the things that I'm kind of looking into right now, and I want to do in the future as well more, because I feel like, again, my content got a little bit stale and I want to show you a little bit more of my real life content. So IRL streaming is something that I'm really looking into right now, and just working with more IRL related things, because I have so many in the gaming scene already.
True.
So, and then how to get sponsors, Steffi. I think you talked about it before already, that sometimes we approach them, sometimes you approach them. Like how would you say that you handle the whole thing?
The first thing, because how to start with this? Someone asked me, for example, a couple months ago, how did you get to work with high tech? I have like my Twitch, I stream every now and then. Can I ask, or how do I approach to them? And I'm always like, are you being active on other platforms, like not only Twitch, as Julia already mentioned? Like, do this on Instagram, post on Twitter, or make the TikToks and whatever. What else can you offer but your Twitch? Because we all know Twitch is a fucking pain in the ass when it comes to growing discoverability. Everything is a bit tough because it's in its own bubble. So you have to offer a little bit more outside of Twitch. And what I can recommend you is, like, I come from the graphic design scene, right? And from a very like
Steffi helps me so
create
much
your
with this,
own
by the way.
branding. You're welcome. Create your own branding and identity with this. So how I approached everything was, I want to make something that looks as if I've always been there. Obviously changed over the years, like changed a lot over the years, but I wanted to look like professional with my appearance on social media. So I can offer, for example, high quality of my whole social media appearance. And also what's very important is, you shouldn't make a media kit where people, or the brand, when you approach to a brand and send them an email or whatever, cringe email, whatever you want, or where you approach to them, they want to see why you're worth it, and why they would like to work with you, or give them the reason, like give them valid reasons, not just because you're a cool person. You can also offer them a lot, like on your different platforms. So stats are obviously a very important thing to a company, because they need to know where they put their money in, right? If they start working with you. So a media kit is
it's really important.
Sorry?
Can I just jump into this, because I would like to add something to this real quick while we talk about that. Sorry to interrupt you. So obviously when you reach out to a brand, right, you have to think about those brands, especially in days like this. There's a lot of people approaching them. Like, you know, everybody and their mother is a creator, an influencer, however you want to call that, right? So there's everything there. We already talked about it, I think, as well, about how important like micro influencers are, for example, nowadays, because the engagement of smaller influencers with a really tight-knit community has a lot of value, because the engagement rate is so high.
Mm-hmm.
compared to really big influencers that have a huge community but have a really low engagement rate.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a place and value for everybody, no matter the size.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, you have to think about how much those brands get bombarded with requests of people that want to
Yeah.
work with them. And I worked on both sides. Like, I helped brands in the past as well, with their appearance on social media,
Mm-hmm.
with who they should work with, and so on and so on. And you cannot believe what messages they get. Like, sometimes they get stupid messages like, "Hey bro, you have really nice PCs. Can you send me one for free?" You know, there are people
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
There are people that write like a huge letter, like 15 pages, why they can't afford one and why they want to have one for free, or that they're planning on gonna be a great streamer, but they want to have a sponsor before.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's why Steffi said that is something that is really important. You have to have something to show beforehand,
Yeah.
and you can't just be there like, "Oh yeah, I'm planning to be this big streamer or whatever, and I'm planning to do this and this." Like, produce your content first for yourself for free. Not necessarily based around products, but just to have something to show your quality, the type of content you want to create
Yep.
for a while before you reach out. There's no point in streaming 3 times and posting 3 pictures on Instagram and then going to a brand and be like, "Hey, look, I do this for 2.5
Yeah.
weeks, sponsor me." That's
Yeah.
not the way to go. So
Not
first
gonna
of
work.
all, create your brand, build up your brand, be present, be also really, really important, be consistent, right? Be sure that you're in a place where
Yeah.
you can keep up with that. I know so many creators that make amazing content, and Steffi and me, we talked about it as well. There's so many people that are really good, and when they create something, it's amazing. But then they just disappear for a week or 2 or 3 or a month or half a year, and then they come back to drop something again and they leave. And that is
Yeah.
something that is just a horror for a brand to work with, and they're not going to be interested in you. So once you're in a place, you're happy with your brand, you think you can keep up with the content that you produce, then you reach out. Then think about how would you want to present yourself. So you want to, first of all, not send an email that you copy paste to every single person. So you're like a generic one, like, "Hey brand, I really love your products. Let's work together. Attach my media kit." You know, they get 15 million emails like this. So
Yeah.
first of all, try to really take 5 to 10 minutes and write a text that is personalized to the brand. Yes, Steffi, you want to say something?
Can I throw in something?
Sure.
You know what, like, got stuck in my head since we talked about it with Karina, and I'm trying to keep this, like, get on track again.
Mhm.
Tell a fucking story, guys.
Exactly.
Tell
Storytelling.
your story. And the thing is, I kind of did that in the beginning with the whole Hades stuff and everything, and then I somehow stopped with, like, telling my story or the story I created for my whole brand, and now I want to jump onto this again. I just want to tell my story, and this is something that makes you or can
Stand
make
out.
you stand out as
Exactly.
well. You need to tell your story and to show them why
you and not the 15 other
Yes.
people. Exactly.
Yes.
So first of all, show them that you did your research. Write
Yeah.
some things in an email that makes you look like you're actually interested. Tell them not just tell them, "Hey, I think your products are great." Tell them which product, why this product changed your mind, why you only use this and nothing else. Like, give them something that makes you really interested and a reason why you want to work with them. Stick to them. If they don't answer you after a week, send them a reminder, but not an annoying one like, "Oh, you have still not answered my email." Be like, "Hey, I know you're super busy. I sent you an email last week. Did you have a chance to look at it yet?" You know, be polite, but be consistent. I'm going to tell you a story later about Logitech, how it took me 2 years to start working with them because I was consistent and I loved the brand and I didn't want to work with anybody else. And then the next thing is with the media kit, also something that I learned. I before had a media kit that was way too long. Like, I had 4 to 6 pages about all the different kinds of content I do and all the numbers and all the stats. Like, I learned it actually from Kerstin that the brands usually want like a 1-pager, maximum a 2-pager. So the one page can be like a picture and the second one really summarized. What do you offer? what are your numbers, what are you, what do you stand for, like those 3 points. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Send it over and then write them, if you want to know anything more about me, let me know. A second thing that I usually also offer, which is not a must, like I heard from some brands, for example, that they love having people come up with ideas and concepts already when you approach them. Otherwise, don't like that. Other brands don't like that. So you could, for example, be like, hey, I already thought about how our cooperation could look like in the future. I brainstormed. I created some packages. If you want, I can send them over. Some brands will like that, some didn't. In the past, I always sent those packages over with it, and it sometimes worked out really great because brands were like, oh wow, this person already has a vision in her head how she wants to create our story together, kind of the way, right? Other people are like, they have their own vision and they are not interested in that. So now I always offer it in that way, that I'm like, hey, I already brainstormed a little bit. If you want, I can send you over packages. So I offer this now. And the thing, if you think like, okay, what are packages that you're offering? So usually what I do is, especially for brands that are maybe not as big in working with creators yet, they maybe don't really know yet how they want to do it. Like obviously if you approach a brand that you see 5 times a day on Instagram with every single influencer, you're probably not going to have to do that. But let's say, for example, for Logitech, I knew that they didn't really work with people in Austria or Germany yet. So I wrote concepts on like, hey, we could promote this, we could use the products in this way, we could do those kind of unboxing videos or whatever it is. So I would make 3 different packages, for example. You don't have to structure it in that way, but I made like a bronze, silver, and gold packages, each with a price on it. So like the first one would be just social media presence and branding and like wearing the headset. Then the second biggest one would be that that at least once a month I post something in my Insta story about them. And the third one would be like each month you create a unique YouTube video or a reel for them, and so on and so on. And then you can also tell them like, hey, those packages are just ideas. You can like handpick and select and build cooperation in the exact way that you want it, and that sometimes can be really helpful, but again, not every brand likes it. Then there was a question for which brands we want to collaborate, which ones we don't want to collaborate with, and which brands we would never advertise for. That was, for example, something that Valder asked for. Maybe Steffi, you want to answer what are brands that you would love to work with in the future, or why did you decided to maybe work with Logitech and Hightech, you know, those kind of things, and what would be an absolute no-go for you?
First of all, like as Valder asked, if we have to test the products and everything, like if we would test products, I would always test stuff unless I know it already. But I would always test the product first, because I cannot give you any honest opinion or review on anything, or I cannot promote anything if I don't know it myself. That's bullshit. I would never do that, no matter, maybe for one mail, but then I'd say in the end, like, I got a lot of money, guys. Nah, but like I always would test the product. Obviously, my biggest dream is not like directly working with this brand, but I would love to be in a Star Wars game, just even if it's just on a stone, like my name on a stone, or just because I'm an early like player. Like I would love to be in early alpha of the upcoming Star Wars game that's coming out, I think 23 or 24. This is one of my biggest dreams, just to be in the credits and hear it. Like I would cry. So I would love to work with obviously Disney, Lucasfilm, to be in a Star Wars movie or game. This is the non plus ultra, would be the non plus ultra. I other like brand wise, when it comes to brands, I now obviously like I tried and use a lot of Logitech products, and I freaking love them. I have never had a better mouse. It's super light.
I'm so
And
happy.
I never used, I never,
happy
like
you
I
like
had
it.
very heavy mice before, and I wanted to go away from the heavy mice. So this one is super, super light, even lighter than the Logitech I had before. I had to get used to it, but I love it. Like, it's the best mouse I ever had.
Just a G
And that's the
Pro
thing.
Super Light, by the way, in case you want to.
Yes, in pinky.
In pinky.
In pinky. So now I tested the products. Best headset I ever had. I had a SteelSeries before. The sound between those two are worlds. You cannot compare this. Logitech is so much worse, not just kidding, better. That's how I'm using it. So yeah, Logitech, definitely a brand I would love to work with. I also want to kind of, like, as we talked earlier with IRL stuff,
Yeah.
maybe some chocolate or some
Snacks,
food-related
man,
stuff.
yes.
Snackies.
Same.
I cannot name a certain brand right now. I'm open
Milka Ständer.
Milka Ständer.
Oh no, you know what you need? You need Wasser for the crackers or something like that.
Yes.
Or what is the brand of the crackers you always eat?
It's Wasser, yeah.
It's Wasser? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Steffi's the cracker.
Popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly's, if you hear that, I am your biggest popcorn buyer out there, okay? 100%. I love popcorn. Sponsor me. Stolichnaya, I'm down for vodka, guys.
Stolichnaya. Oh, yeah.
Or Hendrix, I don't mind. Both fine. Gin, love gin.
I think Hendrix at the moment is a better choice.
Hendrix, man. So yeah, there's like IRL related. I'd like to approach to some brands, but as you already said earlier, Julia, they are present on social media, but they are not really familiar with like streamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet. So it's kind of
you see
hard.
some brands. You see something like I don't know, Kit Kat coming in. Pringles do a lot in esports and stuff. So there's some of them, like I would love to approach them as well. And just the last thing, is there any like absolute no-go brand that you would never work, or kind of product that you would never work with?
I cannot name you any certain brand.
Okay.
But if I don't stand for anything, like I would never promote anything if I didn't like it myself, or if I didn't use it myself.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Like as till this day, like I didn't know Benefit before, if I'm honest. Julia told me about them, and now I'm just fucking addicted to their products because they're amazing.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
This is like, I would never work with someone or a brand that also didn't or wouldn't like support my view of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
There
like
has
if
to be
they
a
would
balance.
limit you, if they would limit you in things you can say.
Yes.
I think I agree with that. So just to chime in there, like I'm on the same page as Steffi. Like obviously I would never advertise anything that I don't use myself, that I don't believe in, that I don't like their products. Like I think one of the most important things that gets lost for some creators, not all of them, but there's sadly some that don't think about accountability, right? So you have to think about, if I tell you every single week, like for example, if I would hop from like a hardware brand to a hardware brand, like the one week it's Logitech, the next one is SteelSeries, and so on, there would be no accountability anymore. And that's also why, as Steffi said, like in my very start of my career, like I got some products sent for free, right? Like I tried some SteelSeries stuff. I started to try some Razer stuff. It was all fine. But then I worked with HyperX. I actually worked with them for like 2 years, and their products were really good as well. Like I liked them. But then I got to try Logitech. I think it was when the G Pro series came out, when they made the Pro line, and I tried their products, and I was like, oh fuck, I can never use anything else again. And I stopped working with HyperX at this point, and I was like, I can't. Like, I literally, especially as an FPS gamer, you know it. When you have a mouse that works, it works. When you have a headset where you can hear all of the footsteps, where there's not too much bass, that is comfortable, that doesn't hurt your head. Like, there's... I think keyboards, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of keyboards from many brands that are good. But when it comes to mice and headset, I don't think that any brand can touch look at this by far.
No. I'm so with you on this. I tried a lot as well.
Like keywords again, like I'm not saying that they're bad from any brand. Like I just think the keywords are pretty similar from most of the brands.
I have a Razer, for example, still the keyboard. I really like that. That's the only one that didn't break after a year.
Yeah. Like
so far. I didn't try Logitech keyboards though. But
okay.
You're so right. Like headset wise and mice, like
I could never go back. And exactly. And that was my thing. Like after I stopped working with HyperX and I tried those products, I think because Nathan had them, I was like, fuck, I can never use anything else. And then I was 2 years without a hardware sponsor, which if you're a streamer, that is your main sponsor. You wear a headset every single day. That is you're literally presenting the headset all the time. This is the sponsorship you can make the most money with because it's always present, right? So I wrote emails, I had calls with them. They were like, oh, we don't really work with influencers or streamers yet. Like they were just in this change of starting to work with those people. And they sent me like products here and there, but I didn't get any money. But I was like, guys, please, I don't want to use anything else to make me go to another brand. And I was really an annoying cuck. I was like really polite, but I was annoying as fuck. I was like, let me prove to you that this is gonna work. And then after 2 years, they were like, you know what? We're gonna write you a contract right now. You're a fucking annoying ass. We're gonna hire you. And now I worked with them 2 years already, I think. Yes, 2 years. And I just signed a contract for 2 more years. And I could not be happier. Because literally, they're so good with their feedback. Like, if there's anything that I feel like it needs to be changed or could be better, or with the next version of that product, like, you can always give them feedback. They're super good with the support if anything doesn't work. And again, like, I cannot change their products. And it's literally, I understand that everybody has their preference. It's the same as with everything in life, that everybody likes a certain brand or is a fangirl for anything. But I was always a fucking Logitech fangirl, and I will always be. So I sold my heart and soul to Logitech. And I hope it's gonna stay with like this, that they're gonna keep on bringing out those amazing products and make me happy. So yeah, that was my one example where I really ran after a brand and chased them. I mean, it was lucky that it worked out in the end. It also could have potentially not worked out. Then bad examples. I told Steffi before we made this episode. It was actually Steffi's idea to make this episode. But I just got an email last week. So a really big brand. Like, I don't want to say any names. I don't want to slander anybody.
Listen now, guys.
But listen to this, okay? A brand, one of the biggest brands that advertises on Instagram, that I literally see almost every day, working with the biggest influencers. So you know this brand is going to have so much money. And we said it again, I think before, especially as an influencer, if you work in a niche, you have so much value with your advertisement because you have a really specific targeted group. You have a certain number of reach. And having a targeted group is so good and expensive in advertisement. If you know anything about working in media, it doesn't matter if it's the classic media or the new one. So let's say you pay for an advertisement in a newspaper, on TV, on radio. Like, you don't have a good targeted group. Then again, if you're selling, for example, gaming hardware and you work with a gamer, you know that like 90% of the people they're gonna reach are gonna be gamers, right? So that is why niche people like us have such a high value when it comes to advertisement. So please never underestimate your value, no matter if you're a micro influencer, if you're a big influencer. If you work in a niche, you're worth so much money. So anyway, a brand approached me the other day, wrote me an email like, hey, we would love to work with you. Can you send us your stats? We would send you some products to test out. And then after you test it, you can decide if you would work with them. I was like, yeah, nice, perfect. I always like to test my products first. Otherwise, I don't do cooperations anyway, yada, yada, yada. And they didn't really say what they would pay me, right? So I was like already like, okay, they're going to play this game, you know, where you have to tell them how much you want because they don't want to like over pay you, if that makes sense, right? So there's always this kind of cat and mouse game where nobody wants to give a price first because they're afraid to under ask or overpay. So I sent them the message and it was like, hey, yeah, okay, yeah, sounds everything really good. I would love to try the products, blah, blah, blah. But how does it look like with the payment? How much would you, because they already told me like, oh yeah, we want you to post 3 times a month between 5 and 8 sequences of Instagram stories and make a picture here and there and post about this product. So like a really big amount of content that I wanted. And I was like, okay, yeah, how much do you budget for this? And then I got the answer back and they wrote me, listen to this, okay? Nobody, no matter if you have 100 followers, this offer is straight up rude for anybody, no matter which size you have. They offered me 30 euros. 30 euros. And I just wrote them back. I was like, listen, writing an invoice for 30 euros is literally costing me more money than I would actually earn. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking joke, right? So they offered me 30 euros and they wrote like in the end, this is our maximum budget. We cannot negotiate about this because it's the first collab, yada, yada, yada. And it's a huge brand. You know, this brand has like shit ton of money and pays everybody so much money. And then I just answered, okay, thank you so much for the offer. Really appreciate you, but this is way under what I usually charge, and this cooperation is due to that not interesting for me. And then just answered me now, okay, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry that this offer does not fit your standards. How much would you charge? When she literally wrote me in the email before that there's no space for negotiation. So that was like a straight up insult to me. I'm gonna have to say. So again, know your value, know how much you would charge. The estimate thing that I tell people usually is never charge under what you would charge per hour in your normal life work. Like you would if you're a gardener, I think I said that example already once. If you're a gardener, you would not fix somebody's garden for free just for a trial, you know, for 8 hours without any payment. So, and just because you work online and you create content doesn't mean that your hourly pay is worth less just because it's digital work. So yeah, always charge. You can easily Google how much the hourly salary or the income, price per hour for I don't know, let's say a photographer or whatever it is, and then just calculate how many hours you want. Like that's the thing. Like the people underpay creators anyway, because if they would want the same reach and they would go to an agency and ask for the same, they're probably gonna pay double or triple or even more than that minimum. Because usually you have to think as a creator, you're often, that's the thing what we talked with Karina as well, you're often the photographer, you're the person that needs to brainstorm. Like you have so many jobs in this, right? You're the model, you're the creator, you're the creative mind behind everything. Like you do so many jobs in once. So please know your value and never under charge, and don't work with brands that you don't believe in, because on the long run, even if it maybe makes you money, your accountability, your audience is not stupid. Like if you're gonna advertise every day 3 different brands and then the next week it's gonna be the competitor of this brand, you not gonna be believable anymore. And that's also why I would never work with a brand that I don't stand behind 100%. Is there anything that I would never advertise? I would not know a certain kind of brand. Like nothing comes up to my mind now spontaneously, but as I already said, it's the same with Steffi. I would not advertise something that I would not personally use.
It's also then, sorry. Finish and then I'll throw in.
And then the thing, like, would you ever we always test the products first, as I already say. Like I don't advertise anything that I haven't tested for a longer duration of time already. And for me personally, the way I work, I rarely do any like project-based work. I usually do only long-term sponsorships that are between 6 and 12 months minimum. And additional like project-based stuff that goes for like, I don't know, 3 months or something, where you have a set a set budget for that
Yeah.
amount of time that you work with that brand. But I try to only do long-term sponsorships at the moment.
Mm. What I just wanted to throw in is like some brands also, like when they approach, especially to smaller like content creators like me, they said they always like offer you their products, right?
Yeah.
And many people say, of course, it's awesome. Thank you. I will do this. But the thing is, those products cannot pay your bills, guys. And the thing is, you get the products because you promote them. You show
Yeah.
them, even if it's just product placement. Product placement is one of the biggest things. Just think of movies. And if you just see this Apple logo in the movie or the BMW driving car in the movie, this is like worth millions in movies. And that's the same with our like job, or especially like even if I post a story and you see my Logitech logo in the back or whatever, you see that, even though if you not like consciously
Yeah, it's in the back of
recognize,
your mind.
you see it. And those are things that are worth so much
Yeah,
with your
because the
reach as
next
well and your
time,
value.
let's say your mouse breaks tomorrow
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
after you listen to the podcast. Even if in the moment you listen to the podcast or whatever, you didn't really think about buying a Logitech mouse or something. Once your mouse breaks and you're gonna be like, oh, I need a new mouse. Somewhere in the back of your head, it's like, oh yeah, right. I heard Steffi and Julia talk
Yeah.
about how awesome this mouse is. Maybe even if you don't buy it, you're at least gonna like check it out and
Yeah.
look how they look like, or
Yeah.
read reviews or whatever it is. And that's the exact point of advertisement. Even if the conversion rate, that is also something that people try to press you with, like stuff like, oh yeah, you posted this and 5,000 people saw it, but only 2 bought it, right? That conversion rate is horrible, like as a number. And like it's the same thing. Like if you go to the Kleine Zeitung or to the newspaper and you tell them,
what I was about to say.
I wanna buy a double page and make an advertisement for MediaMarkt in
4K
there.
minimum?
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, exactly. It's 4K for a double page minimum. And there's no conversion rate. Nobody goes there like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, but how many people bought the washing machine because they saw it in the newspaper? It's not a thing.
Exactly.
It's just about the reach. Like the
Yeah.
people don't pay for the conversion rate. So whenever somebody is trying to also get you in with the whole affiliate stuff, like, oh yeah, you gotta make as much
5%.
money as much as you sell. Like that's not how it works. Like
No.
the people, just the exposure for people to the product that you advertise, that is what they pay for, not the conversion
Exactly.
rate.
And you shouldn't feel bad about this. Like
No,
when you tell
not at
them,
all.
like you get the products, and you shouldn't feel bad about asking for how does it look with like a monthly payment, since I need to pay my bills and I cannot like trade with
Yeah, you
my
can't-
landlord.
Exactly. You
So-
can't go to a landlord and be like, hey, I still have like 5 mice here. Is it fine if I give you 4?
Yes, and the same is like that's what you told me and taught me, Julia, in the beginning. Like no matter where you work, like if I work at the food truck, I don't get paid in food. Like
Yeah.
my boss doesn't give me like burgers for me at home to pay me.
Hey,
He
Steffi, can you
pays me-
come Sunday in extra? I'm going to pay you in 3 kilos of ground beef.
Yes.
Is that fine for you?
And that's about it. No, that's not. It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And this is also what you have to keep in your mind. You get the products because they want you to promote it.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have to have the products to be able to promote it, but you also need to get paid for your promotion and the reach you have and everything.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
matter if
So
it's 1,000 followers or 10,000, it's like
it doesn't
even
matter.
with 1,000, you have a lot of reach.
Exactly. That's the thing. So no matter what size, don't do anything for free. Unless you
are
really love the brand and you just do it
yes.
for the prestige. Yes.
Yes.
But
His name,
no-
please take me.
but that should be the exception
George
to
Lucas.
the rule,
Dave
right?
Filoni. Sorry.
Oh good. And yeah, and then for the future, which brands would what would I
Yeah.
like to work with? I think I work with pretty much all the brands that I really like to. Maybe things that I would still like to see myself. I would like to have more in the direction for my cooking stream. I actually just wrote a few brands that I personally really would like to work with. I don't really want to say the names. I want to jinx myself when it comes to that. But let's say some kitchen hardware, appliances, or even food things, snacks. I mean, I'm a big snacker. I'm eating a lot of food. I love good food. So anything food related, snack related, I would be super interested. And real life related stuff. So maybe even just event based, that I go there and IRL stream and show you something cool. Like, I want to share my life with you. And I think because my reach on YouTube is not big enough, I would rather share my reach with you on live streams as well in IRL. And I would love to visit some cool places. So maybe in the future, there's going to be some traveling sponsorships or something like that. Maybe Steffi and me gonna one day, I don't know, IRL stream from our mountain cabin that we wanted to go to forever.
Damn. Oh my god, yeah.
We still need to do that one day. One day. But yeah, I think that was the whole topic. I think we answered pretty much everything. So know your value. Make a media kit. Tell them why you and not others. What you love about the brand. Be specific about a product maybe and how it changed your life. Or and don't be afraid to reach out to brands, right? The worst you can get
that's
is
what
no.
I had as well, guys. Exactly.
I tell that to Steffi all the time. The worst thing I can say is no. You know, there's nothing worse that can happen. You don't have to feel embarrassed or anything. If you're never gonna ask, it's never gonna happen. If you're gonna ask, they could say yes, or they can say no. There's nothing lost if you ask, unless a little bit of time. The media kit you create once and update it, I don't know, every few months. Is it even
called media kit? Because a media kit is usually a brand's logo,
portfolio, a media kit. I call it a media kit.
I keep forgetting it. I keep calling it media kit as well.
But I think most people call it media kit.
Okay, then it's fine. Okay, good.
To be honest,
good.
Can be both. I think portfolio, some people call it as well.
I'd love to work with some like fashion street style.
Oh yes, fashion.
I'm such a sucker for like good Asian street style clothes. And it's so
Steffi,
like, I swear to you.
What's up with your media kit? Is it up to date?
I need to completely like You know
what we're gonna do, Steffi? We're gonna make it a date together, a co-working date, where we're both gonna sit in Discord. We're both gonna update all of our media kits, and we're gonna brainstorm which brands we write, and then we just have an afternoon where we're smashing out all the emails and reach out to all the brands. And also one thing that I started doing on Instagram, because I'm trying to eat different now, I'm trying new food products that I never tried, and I buy them myself, and then I tell you if I like them or not. So if there's anything I should try that you want me to try, tell me. I'm gonna give you a review.
I just like Essie came to my mind because I
the nail
love
polish.
Essie nail polish.
Yeah, write them. They worked with Annie with the expressive thing. Yeah, they worked with Annie because gamer nails need to dry super fast. So
That's
in
true.
between gaming sessions, you can expressly paint your nails.
That is
okay.
Actually
Pay
true.
me Essie.
Yeah.
By the way, I have really nice nails at the moment as well with the dots. I like it.
I saw.
Yeah, but I think that's it for this episode, right? If we forget to cover anything, please leave us some comments. If there's anything new that you learned, let us know. And we're gonna see you again next week, right, Steffi?
With a very cool episode. Yes. Haha.
Bye,
you
guys.
caught me off guard. I was reading through something right now.
Oh, no.
Bye.
I caught her. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Derps and Burps podcast.
If you enjoyed it, make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram at derpsnburps. See you online.